Good morning, everybody. All right, it said Territory 2014. Very weird issue on this, and this is a man-made problem, we'll call it that. So what we got, as soon as you start this vehicle up, ABS, traction lights, etc., over to Forescan. If we go onto our fault code list, we have a P0000. Now the description of this DTC is that there's no DTC set. We've got a U0401, which is in the ABS module and which is triggering the light, and it basically just means invalid data received from ECM PCM. Now this thing, it's a very odd issue. It's a tricky issue. I'll show you what it looks like. Right, so we'll put ignition on, we'll clear all these codes out, and the first thing that resets is the invalid data from ECM PCM. So that's the first code that we've got coming back, and that's what's triggering ABS, right? So no codes. As soon as we ignition off, ignition on, all good. Fire it up, and you'll give it a second, and you'll see, bang. And then if we go back over here and rescan, P0000 I've never seen, and then this DTC here, which is a U0401, this is just for a heater recirc actuator. Alright, wait. So this issue, when this comes back, this invalid data from ECM PCM, this sets straight away, and this causes the ABS light to come on, etc. P0000, Forescan says unrecognized. When you look at code description for that on Google, it literally just means there are no DTC set. That's all it says. From here, what can we do? Where can we go? Right, quick check yesterday, I've already done it. Powers, grounds, cam wise, the ABS module. I knew it was all going to be fine because it all communicates. I checked common issues on the cluster, so the connectors on the back are common. Clusters themselves are common, but present with completely different lost my train of thought. The clusters present with completely different symptoms. So from there, I started looking into engine calibration data. I pulled the original file out of this. Now, for those of you who don't know, we'll turn this off so everyone can hear. Diesel SZ Territories are essentially a Land Rover. They do not use a Ford engine controller. They use a Bosch ABS unit, and they use a SID 204 ECU, which is a Land Rover. Now, all your conventional Ford tuning software, stuff like that, so HP tuners, etc., they won't read an SID 204 from what I know. So we pulled the flash out of this with another programmer, checked it over, and I also sent it to a mate who does a lot of work with Diesel Territories, someone that we do tuning work with, etc. And this thing actually has a horrendous tune in it. It's been modified, it's been done terribly. So from here, I'm hoping and tipping that if I get a factory calibration, I've got to pull the factory calibration, get it flashed back into this thing and get it back on the road, we won't end up with that ECM PCM message error, basically. Now, I have checked all the inputs to the ABS unit, I have checked all the inputs to the ECM PCM in the way that I've checked engine speed, coolant temp, this, that, the other, all on live data on initial startup, and it's all fine. So if I can get a factory calibration, I'm going to get this thing flashed back to stock, and we're going to go from there. If I can't, I'm going to get FJDS hooked up, and I'm going to reprogram that engine ECU, and we're going to go from there. So I'll get approval first. Alright, so our SZ is sorted. Bloody awesome day today. I've been back and forth all morning, done a couple of revisions. So first off, we went back to the original file, right? So we've got a factory flash file, matching numbers, etc. Put it back in. Straight away, EGR codes, everything that they deleted out of this thing, come back. We still had it in limp mode, obviously, because of all the engine faults. From there, we ended up doing our own EGR solution for this, so we got our own EGR file in there, and we're good. We've got no limp mode, no codes, no ABS. I'm going to hook up Forescan one last time. Alright, so Forescan's hooked up. As you can see, we have nothing that's come back. We've got no lights on the dash. The car isn't in limp mode, it's driving well. So I'm calling this one sorted. It was almost very easy to start throwing and replacing modules in this. I was close to it, I'll admit. You know, we were starting to consider ABS modules, etc. But luckily we made the decision to pull the flash file out and go over it, and I didn't get any history of the customer from this as well. That's the other thing. You know, we asked what's been done to it, if it's been modified, etc. We got nothing. He basically said that, well, yeah, I assume he said nothing has been done to it, nothing's been modified. All I knew is that it had been to 3 or 4 or 5 auto elects, and the last guy said that it needed a ABS unit, and it needed programming, and it had to go to Ford for that. So we could have replaced an ABS unit in this. The last bloke could have, Ford could have, and it wouldn't have sorted this. It needed either original file in the EGR fix or us to do our EGR solution in this, which is done. So another one done, and happy days.